Hello, brothers and sisters. Hey, thanks for joining me today. Apple removes ICE tracking apps from App Store over safety risks to law enforcement. So I think this is an interesting one. Is this a free speech thing or a safety thing? Let's go through this and see what I think about it. And then you guys tell me what you think. Apple removed IceBlock and other immigration and customs enforcement tracking apps from its store Thursday, citing law enforcement concerns about the safety risks the apps posed. The removal of the apps comes a week after a sniper opened fire at an ICE Dallas facility, killing two migrants amid a wave of violent protests against the federal immigration authorities. I'd lived near Dallas, so that was a big story around here. The shooter shot himself before he was apprehended, and I saw an interview with his brother. There's no big mystery here. He said his brother was a poor shot. Basically, he shot a bunch of rounds into the ICE building. Luckily, those didn't hit anyone. But he also shot into an ICE van that had some illegal aliens in the back detained, and two of them died. And one or two others were also injured. But no one from ICE was injured. And the leftists will definitely say, oh, so he was really trying to shoot migrants. He must have been MAGA. No, he was a crazy leftist. There were bullets at the scene where he had copycatted the Kirk shooter, where he had carved anti-ICE into the bullets. And his associates have told the police he was definitely very liberal, anti-Trump, anti-ICE. So this is just another radicalized lunatic who needed mental help. As I always say, I don't really believe in the big conspiracies usually. These are people that have been radicalized by some of the crazy far left ideologies like Trump hate. If you call Trump a fascist and his folks a fascist long enough, people will go out and kill them. Eventually, it does rise to the level of incitement of violence. And so perhaps we really do need to look at lowering the bar for what it takes to be incitement of violence. But that's a slippery slope. I don't really want hate speech laws, and I don't really want to lower that bar, because then the government will get out of control like they are in the UK. Back to the story. We created the App Store to be a safe, trusted place to discover apps, Apple said in a statement prior to the post. Based on information we've received from law enforcement about the safety risks associated with IceBlock, we have removed it and several apps from the store, the tech giant said. Good. I think it is a free speech issue a little bit to be able to put the apps that you want to create out there and to go and put the location of ICE agents out there. But you have to weigh that against the safety of them. And like it or not, what they're doing is lawful, and they're just guys doing their job. You may not like that job. You may disagree with deportation of lots of migrants and call it kidnapping and all these things. But it is actually lawful what they're doing. And so I think safety trumps all when people are shooting at ICE agents and attacking ICE agents. Then being able to pinpoint their location is dangerous to their safety. Just like I think it's okay for them to wear masks. In general, if you're at a protest, I feel you're a lunatic if you're wearing a mask, because you really don't have a safety concern in America as long as you're peacefully protesting. If you've got a mask on, then I know you're going to be a knucklehead and you're going to tear shit up. But California passed a law that law enforcement were not allowed to wear masks. It's kind of funny because Antifa still is allowed to wear masks. So it is kind of crazy. And then what about, I thought we all had to wear masks as a COVID, California. So it's kind of a tricky thing. Well, the U.S. attorney for that part of California told them, no, ICE is not going to comply. So that was just your normal participation trophy, virtue signaling for their base in the media. They knew they couldn't get that to work. Federal law is superior to state law, and state law cannot tell federal agents how to go about conducting their duties. As long as their duties are lawful, there's nothing California can do there. So they said, nope, sorry. I think they pretty much flipped them the bird and said, no, we're not going to comply. And then we haven't heard anything else out of that. But I think that's quite right, because people have been shooting and doxing ICE agents, and it is a threat to their safety when they dox them. 100%, this doxing them is a threat to their safety. The only reason you would dox them is the threat to their safety. Now, the location of them, I can see where you would do that so that you could help the migrants escape. You're helping criminals escape. So that's also problematic. It's really not lawful to help criminals escape. I think safety trumps your right to free speech in this case. And so good. I'm glad Apple did the right thing and took these apps down. IceBlock launched earlier this year. It uses crowdsourcing to track and alert users to the whereabouts of ICE officers. The app's website notes IceBlock was modeled after Waze, but for ICE sightings, and is designed to empower communities to stay informed about ICE presence within a 5-mile radius while maintaining their anonymity through real-time updates and automatic deletion of sightings after 4 hours. IceBlock's motto, see something, tap something. Hey, that's pretty cute. I hope he made a lot of money on that app before it got taken down, but I'm glad it's taken down. It was putting law enforcement at risk. It was also putting illegal aliens at risk. Look at the guys that got shot at the ICE facility. They were illegal aliens. They weren't even ICE officers. Fox Business first reported on IceBlock's removal from the App Store. The Justice Department had previously asked Apple to remove the app, according to the outlet. We reached out to Apple today demanding they remove IceBlock app from the App Store, and Apple did so, Attorney General Pam Bondi said in a statement to Fox Digital News. Yeah, after people are getting shot, there's no defense for keeping that out. Apple would be in risk of massive penalties, I think, from the Department of Justice for keeping these apps up there. And I don't think that's a fight they really want to have, even though they're headquartered in California, and probably most of the people at Apple are sympathetic to the anti-ICE cause. It really opened their company up to a high level of scrutiny by the Department of Justice that they really didn't need. IceBlock is designed to put ICE agents at risk just for doing their jobs, and violence against law enforcement is an intolerable red line that cannot be crossed, Bondi added. This Department of Justice will continue making every effort to protect our brave law enforcement officers who risk their lives every day to keep America safe. IceBlock creator Joshua Aaron told Fox Digital he was incredibly disappointed by Apple's decision. Yeah, because I'm sure he was an anti-ICE sympathizer, which is fair enough. He has a right to be a sympathizer there, and it's going to take a lot of money out of his pocket. I'm sure he was making money off that thing. Capitulating to an authoritarian regime is never the right move, Aaron said. Apple has claimed they received information from law enforcement that IceBlock served to harm law enforcement officers. This is patently false. We are determined to fight this with everything we have. The Department of Justice did not immediately respond. Yeah, and we also have a few instances where the Attorney General of the U.S. has gone after people who have doxed or followed ICE agents home and put out their locations on the internet as putting these people at risk. And this IceBlock was a perfect tool to help do that, to identify ICE agents and then follow them. So no, I think it's quite right. I don't see this as authoritarian. Everything ICE is doing is legal. President Obama deported more people than Trump has so far, and nobody ever complained when Obama did it. Why wasn't it racist and all these bad things then? And full disclosure, I'm a legal migrant to this country. I was born in Scotland. I've been in America a very long time. So I feel very strongly this isn't really a hate or a racial issue. If you're in the country illegally, you should be deported. Period. End. I don't need to hear anything else when I hear that you didn't enter the country lawfully. If you want to come to America and come the right way, legally, follow the process like I did, then I welcome you. But if you're illegal, you should be deported. And if you do anything to put law enforcement at risk, that's a problem and should be shut down. Hey, let me know what you guys think. This one might be spicy in the comments because a lot of people are anti-ICE. Like and subscribe if you like this. If you don't like it, don't watch me. Thanks. Bye.